What's up, guys? Frugal BC here, back for another live stream. That's right, lots of stuff going on today in the crypto world, in the Algorand world, and some other stuff. And if you're watching on Kick, appreciate that. Make sure to, if you're following on Kick, make sure to follow along. I'd love to have more followers on that channel. And if you're watching on YouTube, welcome back. Hope everyone's doing well out there. Hoping everyone had a great weekend. I kind of took yesterday off, more or less. I worked a little in the morning and then went up north, turned my phone on airplane mode, and just enjoyed being in the outdoors and up north and with family and playing in the water. Let my dog get a nice swim. That was a lot of fun. So lots of good stuff. Yeah, we got lots to talk about with the crypto markets and stuff. Plenty going on there. Lots to do. Lots going on there in the markets. We're having a big swing up, so that's going to be a lot of fun to talk about. We're actually in greed territory right now, so that'll be a lot of fun. As always, throughout the live stream, make sure to leave some chats and let us know what you're thinking about stuff. I typically do a segment, and then I go back and read some of the comments. So if I don't respond right away, I know sometimes I had someone last time get a little irritated about that, but what I typically do is I read a segment first and then I talk about. Then someone's saying hi. Taryn Kumar asking for an Algorand price prediction. Yeah, we'll get to that in a minute, because we're going to look at all the prices anyway. But my prediction is, well, I can tell you right now, my prediction has never changed. It's $2 to $3 in the peak bull, and I don't see much to change that. So, but we'll talk a little bit about why. Otherwise, we got if you haven't liked the video already, please do so. More likes we get, the more it shows it to other people. So I appreciate that. Everyone wants to like it and hit the subscribe button too. If you're not subscribed to the channel, always appreciate more subscribers. That helps our channel grow as well. Remember, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. It works just fine that way as well. And we also have super chats, of course, are always appreciated, and we'll definitely give those priority. But we pretty much get to everybody, so it's more about supporting the channel, I would say. And then we also have channel memberships for $1 a month. You can actually get videos before everyone else. So it's a really inexpensive way to support the channel. Of course, liking and subscribing are free ways to support, and that helps too. So appreciate that. Let's just get to the markets. So we've got a really interesting week so far this week. We got Bitcoin up 11.83%. That's really incredible here. Followed by Ethereum at 9.4. So we're seeing Ethereum. We actually saw Ethereum over 35,000 this morning, or 3,500, excuse me, this morning. Bitcoin's still sitting over 67,000, and we are actually in greed territory. We haven't been in greed territory for a while, but it's at 62 right now, which is pretty impressive. So really happy to see that. And I think we're at the beginning of the second leg up, which we're going to see through the fall. So let's see what else we got. Solana having a really good week, up 20% to 174. Now, I've got a bag of Solana. I'm not going to lie. I've already taken some profits on it. In fact, it's one of my few moon bags is in Solana. So definitely a great addition. And I've talked about this numerous times, my issues with the technical aspects of Solana. I think it's got a lot of issues, but you know what? People keep liking it, and when people keep liking it, it's going to keep going up in value. When something has gone up a lot, it tends to go up in the future, and that's what I think we're going to see with Solana. I think we're going to see Solana. It's going to look like Ethereum did. Was it 2 cycles ago now? I think 2 cycles ago, where it was down to 100 something and then it popped up into the thousands. I wouldn't be surprised if we see that. We see Solana probably in the 12 to 1500 range. Wouldn't shock me. Yeah, XRP had a decent week. Am I a little bit up on it now? I might be a touch to the positive, but yeah, up 10%. Doge 15. I've had a couple that have been kind of flat, like Cardano is flat, Toncoin not really doing much, down a little bit, Tron down a little bit. So there's a few bucking the trend. And then you have Avalanche at 21% up. That's pretty crazy. Can't really the memes have been all over the place. It's just a weird week. Near Protocol up 15%. I think Near is riding that AI wave, and that's what we're seeing with Near because it's been doing really great. It's had a really good bull run so far. Like I said, we're kind of entering into the second part of the bull run. Litecoin, you can't kill Litecoin. It's still around. And Matic, I'm way down on Matic. I actually bought in a little more to lower my average price, but I'm not expecting to do a whole lot on Matic, so I'd be surprised if it does well. It just probably wasn't a great move on my part. Pepe really pumping up. ICP having a good week. Uniswap not so much. This artificial super intelligence alliance. Oh, it's this FET. Okay, FET's been around for a while. I was gonna say, like, where did this one come from? But I think they changed the name of it. It's at like 19% up right now. That's crazy. Ethereum Classic 2 still doing decent. Who's had a really good one? This Mantle's really working its way up, as is Stacks and Render. These are ones that were, they were near Algorand in the top 50, 60, and now they've really worked their way up. Filecoin. Hedera, up 3.6%. I've seen a lot of negative sentiment on Hedera. Excuse me, on Hedera lately, and it kind of surprises me a little bit. So make sure no one's yeah, and like I said, I'll be responding to chats in between segments. So I see you guys. I'll definitely be responding soon. Look at this dog with hat. Objective is doing great, 32%, but dog with hat is up 50%. I kind of wanted to buy a little dog with hat as an experiment because I think memes are going to be. I think these sort of new meme coins that have popped up are going to be doing really well. And look at that, 50%. Unfortunately, you can't buy any of those through Coinbase. I think if it's a top 100 coin, it should be on Coinbase, in my opinion. But Immutable doing pretty good. Immutable just announced a partnership with Fractal Monsters. We're going to cover that, actually, I think, today. Or did I cover that already? I think I might have covered it last time. Yeah, BitTensor having a good week. VeChain, not so much, kind of flat. I don't know. It's hard to find a pattern right now. Some of these coins are really popping off, and others are just flat. SWE, which we cover a lot, that is 6.65%. I'm taking take a second to acknowledge the chat. We got MB Official saying, also asking for an algo price prediction. You guys are crazy. Crypto Trucker, welcome back. Says, how's it going? Good, very good. Crypto Trucker, thanks for popping in. We're going to get to algo price prediction in a second here. Yeah, Floki. See, these meme coins, you guys can't underestimate the meme coins. Thorchain doing really well, 30%. A lot are just doing okay, you know what I mean? Something called Core is up 38%. Jupiter jumped 27. You're seeing a certain crypto is getting displaced, and that certain crypto is Algorand. Algorand at 15.6, basically 15.58, and up only 5%. That's really too bad. So some of you guys are asking for an Algorand price prediction, and I've said all along I think it's $2 to $3, and I don't see it going much beyond that, to be honest. Let's just look at the all-time chart here. Now that 95% figure might be a touch misleading because we had kind of a botched launch where it launched at like $3.15. So I don't know what to make of that, to be honest. But I would be more concerned about this one. This is so at top. This is really the peak for me, is around 238. I know it like really briefly spiked over $3. I don't really count that. To me, it has to sustain for at least long enough to show up on a chart like this. But that's still a big drop. That is a huge drop. Okay. All the way down to 16 is a giant drop. Not 95%, but probably what is that? More like 85%? No, probably around that. That's a pretty big drop from all-time highs. You normally expect it to be not quite that much. So, especially right now, this isn't even where the low point was. The low point was around 9. So then we probably were at about 95% down from last year's peak. You really want to see more like 80, 85 at peak. So I'm thinking Algorand will probably hit $2 to $3 if it's lucky. I just can't see it. I can't see it popping up because a lot of other coins have sort of fallen, but they haven't fallen as low as. I feel like, was Algorand ever that low? You know, we saw Algorand fall to all-time lows. That is not a great sign. That is not what you want to see in your blockchains. Okay, so yeah, I'm thinking $2 to $3. Which, if that's what happens at 16 cents, that's a pretty good deal. That's still a. But if you were buying around here, you'd be lucky to make your money back. So I hope a lot of you were buying in these dip areas. If you're buying here, the sad thing is if you were buying at 2020 before the run up, you're down right now. And a lot of algo fam is down. That's why people are frustrated. So that's my price prediction. Honestly, at this point, $2 to $3 is probably the best we can hope for, I think. I know a lot of people disagree with me. I think people like to play games with market cap math. I think it's ridiculous. Let's keep going here. Anything else interesting? Yeah, Beam had a good week. Everything else just kind of middling. Tezos just keeps kicking. I used to be really into Tezos back in the day, but haven't really followed it too much. eCash, that wasn't in the top 100 too long ago. There's WorldCoin. That's a creepy one that Sam Altman is doing. But it's in the top 100 now. Interesting. And ZK Sync. Zero knowledge stuff is pretty interesting, but I don't know too much about this particular coin. Yeah, but pretty interesting time range now that we are in greed territory right now. I'd expect that to continue, and I'd expect this run up to continue through the bull with some pullbacks, which are inevitable. Always happens. Let's see what we got. Who's chatting with us? Matthew Wilson says, so many crap projects ahead of algo. It's honestly so sad. Yeah, this is one of the some of the issues that I have with crypto in general is that a lot of, because whenever I talk about Algorand price action, people have a hard time separating that from the actual. Here, let me take my screen down. People have a hard time separating poor price action and that aspect of it with actual workability, when stuff actually functions, which Algorand is great when it comes to how it functions. It actually works really, really well. So, I love doing stuff in the Algorand ecosystem. I think the dApps work really well. The wallets work really well. There's not as much of what I call crypto UI, which is basically signal for really bad UI, because a lot of crypto stuff just works terribly. And then, that's one of the reasons I started this channel, is because I wanted to be honest about that stuff, because I got sick of videos that would show how great something is supposedly is. And then you go to actually do it, and there's all these bugs that they didn't tell you about. I find that really frustrating. And so that's why I started making these videos. And then when I started making crypto videos, I started making these kinds of videos. And I think that's why the channel's resonated with people, because I'm always honest about that stuff. But right now, that's not translating into price. So having a functional blockchain and all these partnerships is not translating into price. Why? I don't know. I really don't know. I still haven't been able to figure that out. But you see all these memes on the chart, like, what's a good example? Like dog with fat. What does dog with fat do? I don't know. Why do we even need it? It seems crazy. Alexander Gonzalez says, "Hey, dude. Hey, what's up? Welcome to the show. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Appreciate all you guys here. And be sure to hit that like button if you haven't already. But let's get to fact. Let's see what we're at here. Just give me a second here. Well, let's share this. God, my computer's going so slow already. Okay, here we go. All right, too many tabs. God, it won't even let me close this one. Okay, here we go. Yeah, so anyway, I would just not be I just wouldn't expect a lot from Algorand. I would expect more from other coins. So I always keep a pretty good size portfolio. Generally speaking, the kind of sweet spot for diversification is around 12 assets. Hey, it's loading up. How nice. Try other stuff up. Well, there's the Algorand chart. And I think when you look at it from this way, we're probably on an upward swing. Let's pull in some indicators here. All right, here we are. So, oops, sorry, I didn't put RSI in. Yeah, so true to form. I mean, we kind of bounced off this short level, pop back up, and now we're kind of middling. So you might not expect too much price action in the next day or so until we hit one of the Bollinger Bands. For whatever reason, it will not show me RSI, which seems kind of ridiculous. Two indicators. Well, I only have one indicator, don't I? Can I just like wipe them all out? Is this the other indicator? I don't know. It's very strange. Yeah, usually I like to show RSI on here because that tells you, usually when you have a really, really low RSI, plus when you're kind of sitting at the bottom of the Bollinger Band. Oh, I have two. Do I have two Bollinger Bands? Okay, now maybe. Hold on. There we go. Now I can show it. Yeah, you can see we're kind of middle of the RSI. Right here is where we really hit that big pop up. We hit way below 30. Right now, just kind of middling on both, so I wouldn't expect a lot of action. Why don't we go see how the ASAs are doing? Garbage Cat and Shinobi. These are coins for a new bots. They're new bots. We might look into those a little bit later today, but they're bots that are created from this thing. Yeah, John Allen Woods. So people are really excited about this coin that John Allen Woods created on Rug Ninja. And we saw like kind of a typical ASA chart. And then we saw a little bit of a pop up again. So this one is this one's actually holding some steam compared to some other ones. Well, you can even put indicators on. Just for curiosity, I'm kind of curious what that'll look like. Yeah, it doesn't even register. Neither does the Bollinger Bands. Doesn't look like I can actually add any indicators on here. I just don't think it has enough data to do it. But I thought that was kind of interesting, at least. 17 people looking at this right now. Interesting. So this is one of the coins that was created on Rug Ninja, currently having a market cap of 184,000. So people are putting actual money into this. And John's created it. Alan Woods, chief technical officer of Algorand, created this, and he flat out said, "Hey, I don't. This is just for testing. Like, I don't actually want anybody to buy this. And since it has John Allen Woods' name on it or Jaw's name on it, people bought it like crazy, and seems to be kind of bucking the trend of ASAs. It did follow that initial ASA curve of popping way up, popping back down, but did come back all the way down. Only went back down about halfway, and now it's popping back up again. So that's pretty interesting anyway. Now, I'm not saying you should, do anything with that. I wouldn't trust it, but biggest gainers, Coop has actually gained quite a bit. Otherwise, some ones I haven't really heard of, Cock Inu, which that's a rooster, by the way, just to be clear, and Kimbo, which I don't know anything about. But yeah, Jaw's having a nice gain, at least in terms of big ASAs on the market cap. We got chips down on pretty much a lot of stuff down on the week. Chips, DeFi, Pokegold, all down on the week, as is Vestige. Opulus, which I refer to as traders since they left Algorand for Avalanche, I believe. Was it Arbitrum? It's one of the two. Can't remember which one. Coop having a nice week. Nice 24 hours as well. There's like $1 million market cap in there. It's kind of wild, isn't it? Wait, is that trading volume? Nope, market cap. Gora not doing so great. Voltcoin up, as well as PayPay and Cometa. I actually just entered a new Cometa dApp. In fact, maybe I can. Do I have my phone on me? Yes, I do. I'll show that to you guys. Give me a second here. You guys might find this interesting. All right, here's Cometa. In fact, I don't even have to connect it. I'll just show you that I entered this one right here, stake Nico, earn Nico. It's paying 18.58%. And so I already have some Nico. Now I received some Nico, a pretty substantial amount of Nico from the Realms project. I did not know how much they were going to send me. I thought it was going to be like a couple dollars worth. It ended up being quite a bit more than that. And I agreed to hold on to it. What I will tell you is, since they gave it to me, it's dropped by about a fifth. It's a fifth of what it used to be. So we'll just say that. But then I'm also earning Nico because I bought one of these spaces. So I took the Nico and I put it into here. In fact, I can show you guys. I don't care. Just give me a second here. Oops, is loading right now. I kind of like the little Pac-Man theme. Yeah, so I've earned about, since this morning, I've earned about 21 Nico, which is not a lot of money, but I figure if I'm going to have it anyway, I might as well put it in there. So if you have, now I usually tell people to stay away from staking with most ASAs if you actually have to buy in and like spend your Algorand or something. If you're going to get these coins for free anyway, you might as well stake them. There's no real way to lose, right? I mean, the coin could go to zero anyway, but that was already the risk because you got these coins for free. So you kind of have like no downside and nothing but upside. So you might as well stake them. So I might as well earn a little bit. And because I've gotten that, you get so much for earning, for buying the spaces on Realms, which is a metaverse coming on the Algorand blockchain. You're going to get Nico weekly for participating, for owning that space. So you might as well, make use of it. That's the way I see it. So that's Cometa. Yeah, PayPay has been an interesting one though, because this is the Algorand version of PayPay, and it's pretty much tracks PayPay as I understand. and that's been doing pretty well. Let's see, anything else, or should we get to our? So did I miss anyone? By the way, if you're watching on Kick, be sure to hit the follow button. I'll see if anyone's watching. Just going to take a really quick peek. While I'm doing that, let me shut that down. Ooh, Kick is coming up. If you guys haven't hit the like button already, would love if people would do that. I do have a viewer on Kick, and you can always follow me there as well as on YouTube. I appreciate that, and I would love to get some chats too. So on Kick. So if you guys want to go over there and hit up Kick, I'd be really curious about that. And I just want to see how many people are. We got some news and stuff today to get to. All right. 7 likes. So, yep. Anyone else hit that like button? I appreciate that a lot. Thanks for watching, and let's get to some news. Okay, so we got some great Algorand news for you today. Lots of good stuff. Everything from an Algorand Solana comparison to what happens when you ask ChatGPT about dApps. I can say that word. A new AlgoFam commercial, new Algorand commercial, health access in India. We got all kinds of great stuff today. So let's get started. Let's talk about this Algorand versus Solana a little bit here. Going to pop up in just a second here. This is from Bama.algo showing some price action. We kind of talked about this a little bit, but you guys wonder why my price prediction is not very high. This is why. Okay, here's Solana. Here's the chart for Solana. And here's Algorand's. Yeah, that's rough. Too bad. Way too bad. So just a little brief. Now, obviously, I love Algorand. I think Algorand is a much better blockchain technologically than Solana, but when it comes to price action, the opposite is the case. Unfortunately, Solana has much better price action than Algorand. I've said that all along. Do I think it ought to be that way? No, but it is what it is. I believe in. I think it's really important to deal with reality as it is and not how you wish it was. And you can take efforts to try to make it into the way you want it, but at the end of the day, it is what it is. What's your thesis? He's like, yeah, I don't know. And I thought this was interesting too. 90% of holders in the red as price stalls. Let's look at this item really quick. As soon as this I don't see a date on this, so I don't know exactly when it's from, but oh, sorry. This is from the 15th, so it might be a little bit different, but Algorand sees 90% of holders in the red as price stalls. Algorand holders are facing a tough time. On-chain data shows that 90% of them are currently underwater on their investments. So if you want to know why, right now people are a little bit down on Algorand, that's why. That's really frustrating for people, and I get it. This is due to the steady decline in the altcoin's value since it peaked at a year-to-date high of 31 cents on March 13th. Exchanging hands at 15 cents as of this writing, the altcoin's value has plunged by 52%. The fact that it's declining that much during a bull run is really troubling. So you wonder why my price predictions are low? This is why. It hasn't. Why would I think that suddenly it would turn around and start doing well when it hasn't been doing well? An assessment of Algorand's financial statistics show that over 90% of all its holders are out of the money, according to In the Block. An address is considered out of the money if the current market price of an asset is lower than the average costs at which the address purchased or received the tokens it currently holds. As of this writing, 18.65 million addresses, which make up 90.36 of all algo holders, sit on unrealized losses. So you might as well, I think you might as well hold on. You might as well hold on through the bull run, right? I've heard people dumping their bags now, and I think that's a really, I think that's a mistake. Most of these addresses acquired their algo holdings when it traded above 16 cents. For context, the last time this happened was in June. Conversely, 1.83 million addresses, representing a mere 9% of all algo holders, hold their coins at a profit. I don't even know. I don't think I'm in the profit, to be honest. I think I'm underwater on Algorand. And that makes it hard. Like I invested in, the last time I did DeFi, I did the Algorand US dollar coin pool, thinking that I should be safe doing this now because we should have upside on Algorand. And unfortunately, it went the other way. So I actually have some stuff sitting on the sidelines because it's basically at a loss right now. That's frustrating. I was hoping it would be up by the time the period for DeFi on Tiny Man would end. It had not. Their algo price prediction risk of further decline despite its rising price. Algo's shaken money flow has begun to trend downward. This indicator measures how liquidity enters and exits an asset's market. When an asset's price surges but its CMF declines, it suggests a bearish divergence. This divergence indicates that the price increase is not supported by strong buying volume. Hence, a decline is imminent. So they say if this holds, Algo's price will drop to 14 cents, which that was the 15th. So let me pull this back up a second because I think this is interesting. Oh, this thing takes forever. Well, we dropped to, a little bit below 15. So then when we pop back up, so yeah, not exactly what it said, but yeah, that's kind of an interesting take. So if you wonder why people are not so happy with Algorand right now, that's why. All right, so it's not all bad news. The Algorand, someone just minted $180 million worth of US dollar coin on Algorand. Great amount of usage. Let's look at this. This is from Michael Jordan. Says a new mint of 180 million US dollar coin on Algorand. Start closing some tabs here. Here's the transaction. 180 mil. So there's your proof. So that's some good news for Algorand. Not the biggest deal in the world, but kind of big, or at least there's not a lot of details. Now this one's kind of interesting. What happens when you ask ChatGPT to give you the most popular dApps on Algorand? You're going to get a kick out of this, guys. So Mars Comics, who's a creator of these cool Mars NFTs. I actually have one. Kind of cool. I guess it calls them mentals. Says, I asked ChatGPT, well, I really struggle with saying that, don't I? I asked ChatGPT to give me the 10 most popular apps on Algorand. I would say the results are interesting and highly problematic. What are your results and how can we influence this? So number one is Yieldly, which we all know what a disaster that turned into. AlgoFi, I'm pretty sure went out of business. We covered that one. Yeah, it did go out of business. Tiny Man, which is great. I love Tiny Man. I don't know anything about AlgoDex. Opulus moved to Avalanche, and they're no longer developing on Algorand, despite taking a lot of money from the Algorand Foundation. But never mind. Republic, I've never even heard of. Folks Finance, now that's a good one. I'd say, Tiny Man and Folks Finance are definitely great ones to mention. AlgoGems is an NFT platform. I've used it before. don't know if I had a ton of success on it, but I did use it. Smilecoin is generally considered to be kind of a rug or just not a failed project. And then Kamada, we just brought up. Kamada is a legit one. So out of all these, I would say about half are legit to kind of legit, to about half of these are either dead or unknown or whatever. So no, it was, yeah, someone pointed out, Patrick.algo says, because it was trained on pretty old data. Mara says, do we just wait until the algorithm just digs up new data eventually, or can we users help with pointing out new data and help it learn? I have no idea how it works. So generally asking, I don't think you can do anything, but I don't think you can, I don't think we as users can do anything. It's just a matter of like the newest version will show is trained on more up-to-date data. So that will actually help a lot. Ooh, also we got a new Algorand commercial, very similar to the last one. So let's pull this one up. Just give me a second here. Get rid of some tabs here.
We got a hot dog, ketchup, mustard.
Want a hot dog, ketchup, mustard coming right up. That'll be $5. How does this keep happening to me?
I think there's another one too. I don't know if anyone linked it. How do I get the PlayStation? I'm just trying to see if there's more to it. I know there's other ones that they've done. Maybe the foundation. Is this the same one? Let me see. Yeah, it's the same one, I think. There's another one where they're both holding, they're both holding the money and both holding the hot dog. Another one wants to let go, but I can't seem to find that one. I just saved the one I just showed you guys, and interesting, but yeah. So I like this new marketing. I like that they're actually doing some of this marketing. I think that's good. And I like to see more of that. So this one about India is kind of interesting too. Also from Michael Jordan, he's always got good stuff. Algo Bharat teams up with Siwa Bharat. Bharat is just Indians' way of saying India, by the way. Teaming up to revolutionize health access, complies with India's P11 regulations. Security features of Algorand ensure Siwa members regain control over their identities, safeguarding data from unauthorized access. To me, this is kind of a big deal. Algorand, the Algorand Foundation's India initiative, has announced a significant partnership with Lok Swasthya Siwa to develop a digital health passport. This collaboration aims to provide a secure, immutable record of verified credentials, enabling more efficient access to critical health benefits and social safety net programs for users. The partnership, formalized through a memorandum of understanding, outlines a blockchain-based solution designed to meet these objectives. So they got an MOU. That's pretty low level, but it's good. It's good. It means this is probably coming, but that's nothing. That's a pretty low level on the partnership scale. But I think this is a good thing. Also very interesting with passports. This is the kind of stuff that I think is like really, really useful if done right, and a little bit scary if implemented in an authoritarian way. So I hope there's some decentralization of the digital health passport. I hope people have control over it versus, well, let me see. This is currently each SSK provides crucial health-related information, manually collects and validates documents to access entitlements, and consolidates individual level data in spreadsheets for nearly 34,000 households and 200,000 individuals. The new system will minimize manual errors and maintain each woman's information securely. Just women? God, the writing on some of this stuff. Like, so is this just for women or is it for everybody? I don't know what SIWA is because they don't spell out SIWA anywhere. Yeah, this is one of the problems I have in crypto writing is like they assume a lot of stuff. Acronyms should always be spelled out in first reference. That's just standard journalism. And it's also, I don't know if this is like a translation thing, but like they didn't say this was just for women, and all of a sudden they're just like, it just this part references women specifically. So I don't really understand. That's really confusing. Well, it'll be interesting to see how this plays out. I think this is a pretty interesting piece of news for Algorand, but also a little bit confusing. I got one little thing, and I think this is almost more of a shout out than anything. I just think this is kind of interesting. And the reason I shout this out is because I really like the way this was done. This is from Taco Coin. Taco Coin was a sponsor really early on and still a friend of the channel. Stop ignoring us, Algo Foundation. We built the first e-com solution on Algorand. The first. True. And no funding, no VCs. This is bootstrapped together and built and done without a big, huge grant from the Algorand Foundation, which a lot of other companies got, some that didn't stay on Algorand, by the way. We have over 10 assets as payments. We have many different AlgoFam OG vendors. We've done all this grassroots. Look over here. Let's take a look. I was showing that, right? Okay. Grading the code like cheese for a tasty loading experience. I like that. So you can buy their stuff. You can buy a herb grinder from them. Herb. I don't think he's talking about food. You can get these churro chips sent to your house, seasoning, Dora Taco socks. That's, you know, a little pack here. You can get a pack of stuff. Even coffee. They got coffee. Why is it so inexpensive, by the way? $7-8 for coffee is pretty good, especially for something you're ordering online. You can get a hat, some shirts, the oranges. I like the oranges. This is all built on Algorand microcap coffee. I like that. There's the coloring Algorand book. Block Cycle Labs. Looks cool. I survived Happening 2024. Like a little sticker, some koozies. This is so Dora's Tacos is a taco place in Iowa, and I might visit there on my way to Colorado next month or 2 months from now. Not August yet, so it'll be September. Yeah, I should order, like I should actually order the seasoning. I could use taco seasoning. Always nice to have on hand, but this is all built on Algorand without any. This is what I like about this. This was all built without any outside funding. In fact, I'm going to connect my wallet just because I want to see how it works. So if I hit buy, what happens? Well, I'm not going to do that. But you can change it. Here's what you can buy it in. You can buy it in tacos. He has his own coin. USDC, Go Algo, Freakle, Jimmy, Peps, THC, Degen, Nico, Cycle, and Thick. There's a lot of these coins I don't even own, or some of that heading. Freakle, I haven't even heard of that one. Freckle, maybe, I don't know. But Nico, of course, we got Nico. I could just use my Nico. I don't think I'm allowed to, but probably the most useful one to use is USDC because, you know, it's how much it's worth, but yeah, interesting stuff. I just think that stuff is really cool. I like seeing people build on Algorand and make useful things, and I think that's a really good thing for the market. So good for them. Shout out to Taco. Shout out to Taco Coins, and shout out to tacos. Tacos are delicious. Hey, excuse me 1 second. Feel free to leave some chats. There we go. I just had to make my pillow a little, make my chair a little more comfortable here. So one thing I want to talk about here, and I don't want to belabor it too long, but I found this very, very interesting and maybe a little bit, maybe disturbing is a strong word, but I've got some thoughts on it. Let's just say that. So why don't I just share it here? So AJ Wrights Crypto announced that he is partnering with Algorand. And he shared this picture of him with them at Decipher, which, as you know, I was not able to attend because it was during my busy season of work. And frankly, they had it during the peak seasons to go to Barcelona, so it would have been really, really expensive. It says, yeah, after years of dedication, I'm thrilled to announce that I'm partnering with Algorand. Being a member of the Algo fam means the world to me, and I'm excited to continue making a positive impact in the community. Stay tuned for my live interview with the CT. This is the CMO at the main stage of Rare Evo. So someone asked him, well, he got a lot of congratulations. Oh, for some reason, it's not showing me. Not showing me all the replies. Someone asked him what that entails, which was my first thought. Like, wait, what does this mean? What does this partnership mean? And he said that he was going to detail it on his live stream. So I dug around and I found the live stream, but he doesn't really talk about the details. So I'm not 100% sure what it's all about. I'm not sure what it's all about, but it clearly seems to involve some sort of paid partnership with AJ Wrights Crypto. And I said all along that I don't think this is a good idea. Very early on, I decided for my channel that there's no way I'm going to partner with any blockchain, not Algorand, not Polygon, not HBAR, not any of them. I won't directly partner with a blockchain itself because I actually think I think it's a pretty dangerous thing to do. And the reason is I want my audience to trust that I'm going to be forthcoming about everything. And when there's flaws, I'm going to point out those flaws. When I think things are good, I'm going to point out the good stuff, and I'm going to point out the bad stuff too. And I think there would be a ton of pressure to not point out the bad stuff if you're partnered with an actual blockchain organizer itself. So because people might ask, well, and in fact, I have, when I talked about the Polygon revelations where they were paying a bunch of influencers, people said, well, how is that different from what you're doing? Well, I have a couple channel sponsors, but those channel sponsors are individual companies. So they don't hold a lot of sway over my opinions. And if they do, they get shown the door, plain and simple. And I can afford to do that because there's plenty of other companies out there that could take their place. But if that were to happen with, say, Algorand, that would be a huge, for one thing, the amounts are probably going to be more, and they could have a huge amount of influence on what I'm posting. And I don't want that, so I refuse to do that. Now, I've seen this. I think the best case study for this is on-chain gaming. So let me actually pull them up. On-chain gaming, like it basically just a partnership like this basically destroyed their channel. Okay, I found it. This guy had a lot more subscribers, by the way. You can see the impact. Let's go, what are his videos here? So he's getting like 1.8, 2.6, 2.4. But if you go back a long ways, here's one from a couple years ago. He was getting 300,000 views, 10,000, 30,000, 13, 20, 39, 74. Like he was getting real views on his stuff. I've watched a couple of them. So he had, and it's hard to say now because he took down so many of his videos in response to thing. But here's what happened with on-chain gaming. So on-chain gaming, we knew he disclosed that he was sponsored by Gala. So fair enough. You know, that's one of the arguments was it's fine as long as you disclose it. Well, you notice there's no Gala games. Oh, there's one Gala here. This is when he got axed. I think he left that one up and he took down all his other Gala videos. It recently came out that, well, this is probably like a year ago, I think. In fact, it was a year ago. It came out that he was getting paid something like $240,000 from Gala per year. And what would happen is, so he was making all these really positive Gala videos and people started to get kind of concerned. They were like, well, wait a minute, you're sponsored by Gala. Because what happened was now bad stuff started happening on Gala. Gala started having a lot of problems. And what happened was he would kind of gloss over them or pretend like everything is fine. And people started to not trust him. Like you'd read the comments and people were like, dude, we don't trust a word you're saying because you're getting paid by Gala. We don't trust you to cover Gala fairly. And sure enough, eventually it came out that he was getting paid $240,000 a year. That was funding him having a video editor and one other staff member. So as soon as they pulled the plug on that, that was all gone. That disappeared. He couldn't pay his staff anymore. He kind of lost it for a little bit. You know, he definitely didn't handle it well. I don't know that I would handle it well either, to be honest. And it's too bad because he did provide some pretty valuable content about how some of these games work, how to, you know, how to earn money on them, how to play them well, et cetera. But then, yeah, it just all kind of went downhill. I mean, you can see he's not getting very many views now. Not terrible views, but compared to where he was, you know, there's no bangers in here. He's had one at 5.7. Everything else is around. And he's getting my kind of numbers, but I have like about a 20th of his subscribers. And I'm pretty sure he was up. Maybe I'm wrong about this, but I thought he was like in the 200s. I could be wrong about that. So I feel bad for him in some ways, but also like people kind of told him it was coming. And that's what happens when you partner with the chain itself. You know, that can be a real problem, I think. Let's see. Blockchain Game Dev says, what are your thoughts on Void and is it positive for Algorand? You know, there's a lot of people that get really frustrated by Void, but from what I've seen, when I asked John Allen Woods about it, he didn't seem to have a problem with it at all. So I don't think he finds it a problem. And him being the chief technical officer of Algorand. So when he was on my channel, he didn't have much of a problem with it. I don't find it super interesting myself, but also so I've played around. I've delved my toe in a little bit, and I just don't see what the advantage is compared to regular Algorand. Like I didn't find it valuable enough to really explore further. remember someone like reached out to me and said they were minting NFTs and they were going to give me a free one. And I was getting my car fixed at the time. So I was sitting in the, and I'm like, yeah, okay, fine. And he's like, oh, here's like the big laundry list of things you have to do. And I was like, yeah, never mind. Like, I'm like, it's fine. I don't have time for that crap. Just you keep it. Like, you're just giving me a to-do list. I don't need a to-do list. I got plenty of stuff on my to-do list. So it's like, I just think it's kind of neutral. Gilbert Blankenship, welcome to the show. Good to see you. He says, holding my algo frugal, keep up the good work. Yeah, I mean, I don't think there's much benefit to selling it now unless you're going to take another bet. But I usually think lane changing is a bad idea, both in crypto and any kind of investing. If you've got a thesis, stick to your thesis, and that's that. So, but anyway, yeah. So, and listen, I want to say this. Like, I like AJ a lot. I think he's a good dude. He's had me on the show before, so we've had good chats. So nothing, and he's helped me out. So nothing against him at all, but I don't think this is a good idea. I don't think influencers, if we want to be taken seriously as objective observers of this stuff, I don't think we should be partnering with blockchains. That's just my opinion. Some people might not like that, and that's fine. Again, I just want to say I don't have anything against AJ, but I think this is a bad idea. And I kept quiet. I think I liked the post, and I actually no, I didn't like it. Oops, sorry. I just fundamentally disagree with this. He said that it's fine as long as you disclose it. I disagree because I wouldn't trust. Well, the way I put it this way, if I were talking to a financial planner and they were telling me to buy Fidelity, and then they told me that they get paid by Fidelity, I wouldn't trust that. I wouldn't trust that recommendation. And that's why I don't even take they did a giveaway with merch. I wouldn't even do that because I didn't think that was right. So that's just my opinion. Yeah, like I said, good for AJ. I'm also, one little concern I have is that maybe he's going to start getting favorable interviews treatment now, whereas the rest of us might not. I don't know if that's going to happen or not. That just makes me a little nervous. So that's all I got for that. Got a couple other things we might look at. Let me just get a little water here. I thought this thing from DZ was interesting. So I've had DZ on my show. He was formerly of the BitBoy Crypto Show. I think he's still on Discover Crypto, which is the new version without BitBoy. It looks like he's still got email, Nick at Hit Network. So, all right, here's what DJ has to say, because he's talking about Cardano. I think this is pretty interesting. It says Cardano is setting up to be one of the bullish scenarios I've ever seen for ADA. Now he's talking about just for ADA. So in retrospect, you'll can't believe that sounds okay. DZ killing me with the grammar here, buddy. In retrospect, you can't believe you won't be able to misbelieve that you missed these signs, would probably be the way to best put it. So why is he crazy bullish, and 3 projects to look out for? It says, in this thread, I'm going to outline 3 major reasons why ADA will melt faces this cycle. By the way, I don't know why. I find that phrase really annoying. Like, anything face melting just sounds, I don't know, hyperbolic, I guess. And I just don't like it. Maybe it's a personal preference. The token has lagged in price, painfully so at times. But you could say this about Algorand too, by the way. But honestly, there is a lot to look forward to. Here are 3 clear catalysts and 3 projects building their butts off. And he cites Trump's clear message on crypto. The prediction markets are forecasting a Trump victory, and if he wins this November, the markets will have room to move much higher. Here he is speaking about CBDCs and your right to custody Bitcoin. So sure, but that's the case for everybody. that would be the case for all crypto, including Bitcoin. So why is that a bull case for Cardano specifically? I don't really understand that. I think Trump's win will have a major impact on crypto since he's come out as pro crypto. So I do agree with that, but I don't think it has anything to do with Cardano specifically. 16 billion to victims of FTX's collapse. Germans sold 3 billion. Mt. Gox will sell 3 billion. This pales in comparison to the 16 billion that is currently being repaid. Game theory it out. If it were me, I'd likely re-enter the market, try to claw back some Satoshis. And again, has nothing at all to do with Cardano. I don't understand that. I guess I'm really failing to see why these things would be specifically positive for Cardano. But let's go again. Whales, Signal, Spot, ETH ETFs are live. The ETH ETFs are close, and BlackRock will likely lead the charge, lending more credence for ETH as a legitimate asset class. ETH is being labeled as a commodity is huge, ADA to follow. Well, okay, at least he's bringing up ADA specifically, because the first two had nothing to do with ADA. This one is at least has something to do with ADA, but it's still like pretty speculative, right? Like I could say, oh, Algorand to follow. Fair enough. ADA is much higher up than a lot of the other coins that I might mention. So, I can see that as like maybe a potential for Cardano, but that's not going to happen this bull run. That'll be a long ways off. It takes forever to get those approved. So yeah, I don't know that there's a lot in there. Well, let's talk about it says now let's check out 3 projects building, 1 DeFi, 1 RWA, and 1 DPIN. And I always forget what DPIN means, but maybe we'll find out. Obviously, if you want to YOLO into a meme coin on Cardano, you should just buy some SNEC. I'll just flat out telling you to buy something. Okay. It says Meld DeFi on Meld is a DeFi play working to onboard multiple chains. For a Cardano DeFi product to succeed, they'll have to reach out to users of other ecosystems. I don't know about that. Meld is building a wallet dApp supporting multiple blockchains and includes an ETH bridge, huge on-ramp. I think Meld also has. Let me look at that a second. Let me see. Build for all chains. Okay, here we go. Yeah, be available natively Cardano, where we started. Okay, so it did start on Cardano. Also, Ethereum, Avalanche, Polygon, BSC, and as the native token on the Meld blockchain. So they have their own blockchain plus available on all these other chains. Okay, that's cool. Now I know there's like a Meld Gold, and I don't know if that's related in some way to this one that's on Algorand, but kind of interesting. This one's interesting. Book.io, real world assets, which by the way, this is multiple chains. In fact, John Woods likes this one a lot. First, they are tackling the publishing world of books and then plan to branch out in other mediums like audio. Why am I bullish? Centralized exchange listing soon. Credit card support coming. EVM bridge, read to earn. I would consider audio as the closest competitor with the $325 million market cap. Book has a market cap of 40 million right now. Cardano whale is bullish. But it's not just, hold on. Where did that go? Book token. I think they talk somewhere about, well, let's just put, okay, let's look at this book. Okay, so you can buy it for 25 ADA or $11. Boy, I was sure that though that there was, if it's less if you hold Algorand-NFT. boy, I was sure there was Algorand on this one too. I don't see anything about that though. I thought it had multiple assets, including Algorand, but maybe I'm wrong about that, or maybe that's a different one that I'm thinking of. Anyway, that's kind of cool. And then what else? Was that the last one? Oh, I'm sorry, one more. So this other one is Iagon, which is DPIN, the Filecoin of Cardano. IAG is looking to tackle the storage issues plaguing the ecosystem. As nodes become larger, AI uses more and more resources and video quality, increasing to 8K and beyond. I talked to the founder and really liked the vision for the project. Storage isn't a major issue today, but one day will be. Oh, I wish I remember what DPIN was. I can't even infer it yet. So I guess that's cool, but a lot of other chains have stuff that's building on them too. That doesn't necessarily mean the price will go crazy. So I think this is I'd be really, really skeptical of this. His three bull cases, out of his three bull cases, two had nothing to do with Cardano specifically, and one was like speculatively about Cardano. So yeah, I don't know if I buy his arguments here, but I'm sure we'll see some gains on Cardano. Just probably won't have the same kind of gains that a lot of other coins that are really going to have gains will have. Stuff like Solana is just going to take off. Ethereum will probably do pretty well. I would say Cardano will probably do about as well as Ethereum, if not, maybe not quite as well in terms of percentage gain. So that's what I would expect. Let's see, get some other stuff. Man, y'all are really quiet today. Usually I have a pretty lively chat, but very quiet day today. All right, well, I got one more for you. I think we'll go through. Well, we got two. Let's just go through both of them. So I thought this one was kind of interesting, looking at a price prediction for the crypto market in general. This is from a specific trader and his theory that we're going to have a very, very good crypto bull run on the second half. Let's take a look at what he says. This is posted by ChainMind, but this is GCR, the one who can predict the future. He begged everyone to short Luna from $100 to zero. He accurately predicted the all-time high and low of the last bull run. Literally every one of his predictions comes true. Here are his predictions for his cycle. Here's his tweet. By my hand, Luna 1.0 will die. Here it was. There it went. Before we get started, I'll be making my... Okay, I don't care about that. Okay, firstly, GCR Classic. This is the guy. He who chases two rabbits catches neither. He's a well-known crypto trader who consistently ranked among FTX's top traders and turned 1,000 into over $1 billion through crypto trading. As already mentioned, his predictions tend to come true. Here are a few predictions for this cycle. A tweet from June 18th in which GCR says, current structure reminds me more of late summer 2020 after DeFi summer imploded and that we're still in a bull market. I think we're still in a bull market too, so I totally agree with that. I don't think that's even that... It's not like oh, geez, sorry, guys. Here we are. Yeah, so to recap, this guy, GCR, is the one that can predict the future. He begged everyone to short Luna from 100 to zero and apparently called it at the top down to nothing. Accurately predicted the all-time high and low of the last bull run. Literally every one of his predictions comes true. And here are his predictions for this cycle. So first, about GCR, he is a well-known crypto trader who consistently ranked among FTX's top traders and turned 1,000 into $1 billion through crypto trading. I hope he got I hope after that he got his stuff off of FTX for his sake. As I already mentioned, his predictions tend to come true. Here's his predictions. Okay, so he says a tweet from June 18th in which GCR says, current structure reminds me more of late summer 2020 after DeFi summer imploded and that we're still in a bull market. Yeah, I mean, I agree with that, but also like it seems pretty obvious. I think it'd be crazy to say we're not in a bull run right now. It's that we're in that second segment of it. It's usually one right before the bull and then one after. This is the after. So we probably got a ways to go yet, I think. It says this market will continue to grow. I think that's true. 2022 bet was in the middle of a bear market. Current structure reminds me more of blah, 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 blah. Just even shades of summer 2021. But one shouldn't get too wedded to fractals. Each cycle will play out differently. We're still in a bull market. He says, if you've been sidelined, believe this is a good opportunity to scale into high conviction tokens. If you're fully invested, just survive, hold your spot positions, and do not capitulate. Which is what I've been saying, you guys. Once you're in, at this point, you probably should just be hanging on for the ride. I wouldn't do too much lane switching right now because you might end up with one that's kind of exhausted itself. I think you already should have made your, if you want to get into some stuff right now, it might still be a decent time to do so. But if you've already bought in the bear market, I would just hold on. That's my opinion. Someone once said liquidations are a forced transfer of wealth from traders who need leverage to wealthy spot buyers. I was enjoying retirement from social media, but don't want to see my brothers get shaken out when the future is still so bright. New coins full of hope, lacking bag holders, teams still not rich and incentivized to create hype. GCR believes that new tokens will always grow better to novelty, absence of large holders, and the fact that team is motivated and driven for success. Let's just read his stuff. Yeah, getting messages from people who made tremendous wealth off this thesis. But wealth isn't wealth until it's realized. It's not a crime to secure some profit from coins that pumped off this thesis went off. Yeah, and I've been saying this too, guys. You got to take profits. It doesn't do a lot of good if you don't take profits when you're up. You know, your goal should be to eventually to create moonbags. And then everything you have after that is pure profit. And then you literally can't lose. You can't lose when that's the case. For each cycle, remember that only those who take profits end the cycle successfully, yes. This is interesting too. Some of the best performing coins will be the ones with the worst tokenomics from the most predatory teams. A lot of the teams have launched in peak bear have been waiting desperately for more favorable conditions so they can deploy their bag of tricks. Here's another one from him. He says, I've been telling people for weeks the greatest threat to any successful project is its own success. Success breeds imitation. And this is a mercenary industry that will ruthlessly move to derivatives of original, chasing higher upside from VCs to traders to ultimate retail. That's a really good point. That might be a challenge for coins like Algorand or Cardano because you know they've had chance to garner competition. That's why I like SWI. I think it's doing a lot of the stuff really well right now. Some of the best performing tokens. This is this tweet from before, which I thought was really interesting. Some of the best performing coins will be the ones with the worst tokenomics from the most predatory teams. That's what I'm saying with Solana. Like the tokenomics suck. They've had really bad practices from day one. I mean, they lied about the total supply, all that stuff, and you know, they've done well. So a lot of teams that launched in peak bear have been waiting desperately for more favorable conditions so they can deploy their bag of tricks and do some market manipulation. So he's definitely bullish, which is what he said. Overall, everything points to significant growth now. Remember, one of GCR's key pieces of advice is just hold and you will end up winning. That's what I'm saying, man. I totally agree with this guy. I think this is really, really smart. And I'd listen to stuff in here. I thought that was a pretty good thread overall with good information for the bull run. So good stuff. Let's start clearing out some tabs. I just want to see who's responding really quick. I don't know. What do you guys think about that? You think that was pretty good advice? If you disagree with me, let me know. I just want to see if anyone's commenting on my Kick. Yeah, remember, guys, you can watch me here. You can also watch me on Kick. And I got a comment. Ty Triosi says, "What are your thoughts on Sol?" Well, I think I don't like the tokenomics of it. I don't like the way it functions. I think it's not a great blockchain, but I think it has a lot of potential for run up. It tends to do really, really well in price. And we can go back to what Chainmind was, or excuse me, what GCR, excuse me, was saying, is that lots of teams that launched in Peak Bear have been waiting desperately for more favorable conditions so they can employ their bag of tricks and do some market manipulation. I don't know if that's what Solana's doing, but we can look at that. And I get the comment, by the way. Let's go back to Coin Market Cap. Here we are. Yeah, let's talk about Solana a little bit. Let me go all time, actually. Because I remember last time, remember 2021, we went from $3 up to 200 some dollars. That is huge. What is that? $300 would be 300 some dollars would be 100x. So it's probably like 60, 70x. And beginning of 2023, we went from 17, which I took advantage of, to 190, kind of fell back a little bit. I actually bought a lot of Solana around here. So I think we could probably have a run up. Maybe I said 1,000 before. I think that might be a little overly optimistic, but $600-700, I don't think is out of the question for Solana. It just tends to pump a lot. It tends to do really well. So, hey, thanks for I'm going to even type it. Anyway, cool. I actually got my first comment on Kick. That's exciting. Nobody followed though. I'm so sad. Let's see. Got some chats here. Got some chats on YouTube now. Ike Lucero, welcome to the show. Thanks for watching. He says, went back to $3. I'm going to tell you, I think that's the top of my prediction for Algorand this cycle. I just don't think we're going to do better than $3. We haven't historically. We've had such a crash to all-time lows. Like you notice with Solana, you notice we didn't go back all the way down to those all-time lows. It maintained, around $20. I think it got as low as what, 13? Yeah, about 11. Oh, it did go under 10, just barely. But that's quite a bit different than the 2020 lows. When we look at Algorand, there it is right there. We were in 2020, we were in the 17, 18 cents range. We actually surpassed that. We had a new all-time low this cycle of 8 cents. I know we got down to 8 cents. It's hard to find it here on there it was. Yeah, we did get below 9 cents for a little while. So we set a new all-time low. That's never a good sign. So that's what I think is the difference there. Grupo Trading says, welcome to the show, Grupo Trading. Thanks for watching. It says, is Algorand a zombie network? Serious question. Actually, I don't think it's a zombie network. I think there's too much stuff being built on it. There's too many people using it. We share all the time how it has some really good projects and partnerships on it. unfortunately, that is not translating to price. And so I think we're gonna see that. Ike says, "Same here, losing faith, my brother. I watch your videos all the time." Yeah, appreciate that, Ike. I appreciate that a lot. Yeah, listen, I think we're gonna, if you bought at 11, how much did you say? Oh, here he is. Says, yeah, Ike says he bought a bunch at 9 cents. I mean, so for that, you're up. I think anyone buying even right now is probably gonna be up in the near future when the bull run kicks in fully. I just don't think it's gonna be like as much as the other projects have. And considering we hit a new all-time low, I just don't see us going above $3. I mean, I'd be happy to be wrong. I would profit very well if I was up higher than that, but I just don't see that happening. So, and like I said, I'd be very, very happy to be wrong about that. Let's see what else. So yeah, I don't think Algorand is a zombie network. I don't think the price action is very good, and I don't see it's going to get better until the crypto market matures to where it really, really values fundamentals over speculation and vibes. I just don't see that changing much. Oh, let's see. Got a couple others, but honestly, I'm kind of running out of steam. So, oh, we got more chat. Yeah, keep the chats coming if you want, guys. Ike says Algorand lacks mainstream adoption. If more people used it, they would like the speed and low transaction fees. It's good. It's a good network. It is a good network. I think it's actually had quite a bit of adoption for cryptocurrency. What it doesn't have is a lot of speculators, like a lot of the other coins have, because there's quite a bit to do on it. Like I said, I've been using it for a long time, and I really like the dApps. The dApps that are built on it have a greater capacity to actually work and function, which a lot of the other ones don't. And I can't tell you how many stuff I've tried on crypto, and I just get so frustrated. Like I pointed out the partnership between Fractal Monsters and Immutable X. I was playing Gods Unchained, and it was just a nightmare to do anything on it. At first, it was good because like it wasn't super connected to crypto, and then they linked it up so you had to use MetaMask, and there was all these steps they told you to do, and at one point you get caught in a loop where it's like you can't proceed because you haven't done the step that it's literally telling you to do. It's like do X. You can't do X because you haven't done X. You know what I mean? Like that kind of stuff. I'm like, how's anybody using this? I don't get it. Like, it's so confusing to me. So yeah, I'm not a big fan of a lot of other stuff, and I think algo those things tend to work a lot better. So it kind of depends on what you mean by mainstream. It hasn't had a lot of mainstream buy-in. It doesn't have the vibes or the I guess the excitement that other coins have for some reason. Yeah, well, like usually when non-crypto people tell me about buying crypto, they'll talk about Bitcoin or Ethereum, and then after that, probably Solana or Cardano they'll talk about, but they won't talk about like I never hear anyone. I can't say never. I've run into a couple of people that are kind of in the wild that are Algorand people, but not too many others. Let's see if I was excited. I finally got a comment on Kick. By the way, I love if one of you guys want to just go over and follow me on kick.com. You can just search for Frugal BC. And if you want to give me a follow, because it'd be really fun to have a follower on Kick. It's kind of like when you start a new seems like whenever you start a new network, it's really hard to kind of get that initial start going. You know what I mean? So, but at least that's the first time I ever got a comment on it. So that's good. And I'm supposed to be streaming to Rumble as well. And that doesn't seem to, that hasn't done me any good. It doesn't seem to be working. So I got to figure that out. Maybe I'll test that out a little bit later today. Ike says, I have a hard time buying Solana. bought a bunch at 8 and sold at 150. I still remember when the network crashed a couple times last bull run and price crash tripped me out. Yeah. Well, in 2022, it was down like 9 times, and then I don't think they had any outages in 2023, and then I think there was 1 or 2 this year, so yeah, it's a challenge, you know? It doesn't give people a lot of confidence, but like I said, it hasn't the Solana price just keeps skyrocketing and everything else, no one seems to care, so I don't even know what to make about that. Well, if you know what? I did save, my Yomo and Hurley for today, so we can play some games for a little while before I log off here. Oh, crap. Hold on. 1, 2, 1. This is wild. Oh, no. I totally took my share away. So this is actually one of my favorite games on I think I talked about this before. I like this one a lot. This is Hurley and Yomo, and you buy these Bork NFTs. This one's mine, and you can play games and you can enter the raffle. Really quick. Cool. Music is cool, I think. You can win. This is a Bork that you can play, and the more of these Bork NFTs that you have, the more often you can play. This is a Thirstover. That's that horsey one. I haven't won one of these yet, so I had some tickets in these. Yeah, I didn't win. And then, also, if you're on XRP, if you have, Zircles or something, they're called, I can't remember. Just drew a blank on their name. But I'll probably enter one of these. So that's the raffle. See what game I get. Oh, I'm good at this one. This is the one you can do for training too. If you do the training one, it's wave after wave, and you have to survive. The first wave is pretty easy, so I usually win. So I'll get all 3 tickets because I survived. One hard part about this game is you can get stuck where they're all coming in one direction and you can't, like, escape them. I really like the music. There we go, that was pretty easy. My creator. Digital trading says careful volatility. Yeah, I think there's still a lot of volatility for that. Oh, Biden just did a campaign, really? We're gonna do this. Like, this is Yomo and Hurley, or Hurley and Yomo, and you can access it. It's the retro arcade, and you can access it by buying a book. I'm not in that league. Does AP say? This I see is 45 minutes ago. He's still on. I do see Biden is out trending. Oh, wow. Okay, we're gonna Joe Biden. My fellow Americans, over the past 3.5 years, we have made a great progress as a nation. Today, America has the strongest economy in the world, made historic investments for building our nation and lowering prescription drug costs for seniors and expanding affordable health care. Need. Okay, all this conversation. I know none of this could have been done without you. Together, blah, blah, blah. It's been my greatest honor to serve as president, and while it has been my intention to seek re-election, I believe it is in the best interest of my party in the country for me to stand down and to focus solely on fulfilling my duties as president for the remainder of my term. I will speak to the nation later this week in a more detail about my decision. For now, let me express my deepest gratitude to all those who have worked so hard to see me reelected. I want to thank Vice President Kamala Harris for being an extraordinary partner in all this work. And let me express my heartfelt appreciation for the American people for the faith and trust you have placed in me. I believe today that what I always have, that there is nothing America can't do, and when we do it together, we just have to remember that we are the United States of America. Wow. So that's really interesting because I had heard a lot of talk. Sorry, I took it down. You're right. I'd heard talk that Joe Biden was going to step down from the race this weekend. So interesting that it happened. It happened on the live stream. Now I'm curious what this is going to have, what impact this might have on the crypto markets. It might already be baked in. I mean, this happened like 15 minutes ago. I don't think we're really seeing much of a change. I don't think it's really impacted anything. If we look here, I mean, it doesn't, we're pretty much where we were, just a little under 77,000, Ethereum just under 3,500. Not much big change there, but so Define L says, who could have seen this coming? Biden, BYE. That's funny. This is the parody one, says bro, finally. Are you kidding me? Yeah, they should probably be cutting away to. It's interesting because when I went to the news, I didn't see any news items on it. But you go on to Twitter and you get it first. That's crazy. Hold on, let me. I'm gonna tweet that out because I think that's. I think that's worth tweeting out. So, a lot of this stuff you might think this would move the crypto needle, and it might have an impact long term, but it's not usually news. Usually news like this, and like I said, the rumor had been kind of going around that he wasn't going to continue. So I think stuff like that usually gets baked in. Grupo says this should be somehow positive. Well, I'm not sure because I think most people thought that for sure that Biden was going to lose this race. I mean, the polls were looking pretty bad for him. I think he knew that. I think he knew that, and so that means that Trump would win, and Trump is at least on paper, and you never really know with Trump because he's kind of all over the place. But Trump had sort of indicated that he was pretty pro crypto, as did Ron DeSantis during his ridiculously bad campaign. I mean, really, really bad. So I don't know if it's positive for crypto because now the Democrats might put someone up that actually could beat Trump. Hard to say. Hard to say. I think there's a lot of wait and see what happens on this one. Grubo says Joe had tons of people on his I think he meant on his team that hated crypto. Yeah, but a lot of the Democrats that are going to that might replace him, and now the conversation is going to be ongoing. A lot of the Democrats that replaced him were also anti-crypto, so that's why I don't think it necessarily matters, because I'm really curious what the reaction here is. Ghetto Pigeons. Ghetto Pigeons says farewell and good riddance. Ghetto Pigeons. This is an Algorand game. I actually downloaded it. I should try that out. Ed says, I actually like Ed Kresenstein. I don't always agree with him, but I think he's like pretty smart. He says, "Let's go Kamala." So I guess it's going to be a Kamala. I don't know. It's probably going to be Kamala, because I think a lot of the other candidates would rather have a full cycle instead of having to kind of jump in at the last minute. Biden's going to freak out once he wakes up. Just seeing like if any other interesting this person just flat out says, "I don't agree." We saw all those. Should I read all that? Says uvono.eth. I'm fascinated. This just happened like while we were live streaming. You guys know this meme? Yes, this is from my era. This is Nancy Kerrigan and Tanya Harding. Tanya Harding famously hired people to hit Nancy Kerrigan, her rival Olympic ice skater, in the knees. We saw a video of it, which was kind of unusual for that time, because a lot of times you didn't see video. Not everyone had, people didn't have like iPhones with video at that time, so it was at that time it was rare. Now it's like you're always going to get stuff like that. Oh, this is fascinating. Demand voter ID and paper ballots. Don't let Trump cheat. Usually it's the Republicans that are making those allegations. Interesting. Just seeing if anyone else interesting responded. Kind of doesn't look like it. So I have a guess we're going to have a Mario Nafali. How do you even find them? Oh, right here. Let's see what's going on. I want to listen to this for a little bit.
Constantly voted Democrat. I cannot imagine how people were trying to act and make us believe candidate for the moment. He was the wrong candidate. I don't care about what polls you're talking about. This is not about the donor class. I'm actually happy that this happened in general. I just wish that people stopped apologizing for him for the last few years and instead made him do this earlier, so we actually had a real shot. I mean, there are people that folks are going to talk about. They're going to talk about Hillary. That's not happening. The whole point here is a younger generation. I think they're going to talk about an open primary. If you read the letter, he did not. And say it. He said, "Hey, I thank her. Thank you, Kamala, but nothing else. This is going to be an open primary. I bet you Buttigieg is already on a bunch of different places."
My brother.
One last thing, Brian. Brian, let me finish. Brian, I'm going to finish and then you're going to go. So I was going to say that ultimately Buttigieg is up there. I think Kamala's going to try, but she's an awful debater. I think we're going to see folks. There's going to be a bunch of different people that are going to come out. Gretchen Whitmer is interesting. Shapiro is interesting. Newsom, are you kidding me? He's not even popular in California, let alone the rest of the country. So I think the shame on you. Brian, go ahead.
Guys, Donald Trump just responded.
The challenge is,
guys, hold on, guys. Can anyone please go quiet? Who just said Donald just responded? Was that you, Brian?
Yeah, I have the statement here.
Oh, right, Jared. Yeah, go ahead. Sorry, go ahead, Jared.
Yes.
What did he say?
This is in the phone call. A phone call with CNN minutes after Biden announced his exit from the 2024 race. Donald Trump said, "quote He is the worst president in the history of our country. He goes down as the single worst president by far in the history of our country. While it's unclear who the Democrat nominee will be, Trump said he thinks VP Harris will be easier to defeat than Biden would have been. End quote. This is coming from CNN. He just gave a phone call with the folks at CNN saying, obviously responding to Joe Biden dropping down.
Listen,
but I'll say this. What's interesting is that during the rally yesterday that we were covering right here on this space, Donald Trump polled his own supporters, and most people said that they wanted Biden to be the Democrat nominee. So that's just some food for thought.
Listen, we've all known that Biden was going to drop out. Now the question is, can they bypass Kamala Harris and afford to lose the female vote and the African American vote? And the answer is no. So the obvious choice is going to be Big Mike, Michelle Obama. She's going to be the walk-in. They can't pick Gavin.
Brian, like literally not possible.
Listen to me.
It's
I
already
understand.
out.
I understand.
Brian, it's not
Nonsense and speculation.
it's just like
Listen.
silly.
I don't know what kind of a prognosticator you are, but if you and you will upset the female voter, you will upset the African American vote because she believes that she's got less than 1% of the vote when she was a candidate. She's incredibly incompetent. She's a joke. She's
Biden,
not. She
Biden dropped out too, or very early in 2016. But the point is,
no, he got kicked out. He got kicked out by his party. Because of that, doesn't make Kamala competent. She's the border more than the borders are. She's been completely incompetent at everything she does. She laughs. She speaks in word salad.
oh, she laughs. That's a big problem.
No.
Kamala, that's not
no. She cackles.
All right, guys, gentlemen, we're gonna talk one at a time. The two Brians are taking over. We were talking about female voters. I want to hear from a female voter. Let's go to Tira. Tira, you go next. Go ahead.
Okay, thank you. And hi, Brian Benstock. Long time no talk. Hi.
Tira, love you.
Love you too, even though we disagree. All right, so
you got more balls than most of the guys on the stage.
Is really not correct. I know people who know her. She's a female. So can we just stop this? I don't think that Michelle Obama is going to run. She has were to be somehow passed over, that would be an issue, certainly for Black female voters and potentially for other voters. And also, of course, for Kamala Harris, who I don't think wants to be passed over. Where I disagree with him is actually what she's like as a candidate, etc. She's not a bad debater, Donish. She actually had some pretty good lines in the debates. She wasn't bad. She was actually much better than a Mike Bloomberg, for example, and actually probably slightly better than a Joe Biden in many ways. So I don't think that's really
that's a low bar.
No. What I'm saying is I don't think that's representative of what her debating skills are. She's good. Is she great? No, but she's good. Okay, she was a former prosecutor.
Tira, it's not her debating skills.
Brian,
it's her presidential
Brian, now let me just say one thing about Joe Biden. One of his biggest failings in many ways, he was given a lot of responsibility by Obama. He gave Kamala Harris like almost nothing. Okay. He gave her the border czar appellation, which really she was given nothing to do, but he sort of said,
and she
no, she didn't suck at it. She was not given positions in which she could shine. And that I put on Joe Biden. He could have helped. He could have helped his vice president more. He could have put her in situations where she would look good, but he did not choose to do so. So she has looked pretty bad. I do think there is another candidate that I strongly prefer, but at the end of the day, with very little name recognition, very little time, and logistical reasons, I suspect it almost has to be Kamala Harris.
I think Westmore, right, Tara?
Westmore. Now, my candidate is Westmore. Who
it's not going to be
terrific.
Westmore. And I was just on stage with him last month, and he's amazing. He's not
amazing. I mean. For a couple of reasons. A, because of money issues yes, Joe Biden can give his money to Kamala, he can give his money to the DNC, and he can give his money to some super PAC that would make commercials for someone else, but it's much easier to do Kamala. Number two, the Republican Heritage Project has basically been walking around saying, we're going to fight anybody else getting on the ballot but Joe Biden. Kamala, at least, is already on his ticket. Now, I don't think they're right about this. I think they're misreading the law, but they're going to bring lawsuits in every single state. And I think it's a lot harder for them to do so if it's Kamala Harris. So for
Tira,
me,
I've got a question for you.
sure.
There's two points that may indicate that it's not going to be Kamala, and I want to hear your thoughts on this. The first was the reports coming out that Joe Biden is not going to be endorsing Kamala and it wants an open convention. The second one was there was a video, and I just remember it vaguely, coming out from AOC, who said behind closed doors that Kamala Harris does not have the backing of key Democrats. What's your thoughts about those two things?
Well, if she's talking about the progressive left wing, I'm not sure Joe Biden has much of a backing of that wing either. So I don't.
Someone get the clip for us. But she
Right.
was
No,
giving
I
AOC,
watched the whole
no,
clip.
but
I watched
that
the whole clip, and I can tell you exactly what she said. She said that
Yeah,
the
please do,
people
Brian.
are pushing to oust Biden. The people behind many of them are not saying they want Kamala next, that they want to have an open kind of thing or they have someone else preferred. But she did not claim, to be clear, that most Democrats aren't behind Harris. She just said a significant portion of the people that were pushing for Biden to step down were not backing Harris. That's what she said. And so I think that's a minority.
So guys, just breaking.
hold on.
Just breaking news.
So
Yeah.
Joe Biden.
Go ahead, Jared.
Joe Biden.
Being reported right now all over. So
Yeah.
he has
What does that, guys? So what does that mean? So can you just explain? If he endorsed
Another
him,
death
does
blow.
that essentially
read
mean
the
that?
statement. There's a
Go ahead.
statement, yeah,
Please, yeah.
from Biden. So Biden just put out a statement saying, quote, "My fellow Democrats, I have decided not to accept the nomination and to focus all my energies on my duties as president for the remainder of my term. My first decision as the party nominee in 2020 was to pick Kamala Harris as my vice president, and it's been the best decision I've made today. Today, I want to offer my full support and endorsement for Kamala Harris to be the nominee of our party this year. Democrats, it's time to come together and beat Trump. Let's do this." So
that settles it. All the other
death.
speculation is mindless. And
why
silly.
would Biden put a
Why
statement
does it
out
matter?
10 minutes ago
Who cares what Biden
and not
says?
endorse her? Right. But it's just like this.
Just to be
Democrats
clear,
care.
also,
I think the point.
most Democrats don't like Biden. They despise Kamala.
Not
So
true.
I
That's
think
not true.
No,
just
no,
like
Don, that's
Brian,
not
a week
true.
His video is really lagging for some reason. Man, what happened to that sound? It's just gone. I'm gonna try leaving and coming back to it. Oops, that's the video. Where did that go?
He's not the man he used to be, and they've all
There we go.
covered it up. The entire party, every member of Congress, Joe Biden's family, Kamala, everybody has covered this thing up. So honestly, I don't think it matters who they put at the top of the ticket against Trump. I believe he's going to win. I think he's got a 99% chance of winning because the American people are sick of being lied to, and they know they've been lied to for years now over Biden's decline.
It is pretty wild.
And what does it mean when it comes to the race,
Maybe we can
Congresswoman?
all
I know
see
you
it,
didn't want to
right?
comment too much on that, but do you think Kamala Harris has a high likelihood of winning the race compared to Joe Biden? Try to look at it objectively, and is she the best candidate considering Mr. President Biden endorsed her?
Oh, she's a terrible candidate, and I think that Donald Trump beats Kamala by a larger margin than Joe Biden. I mean, she's like addicted to laughing gas. She's incoherent sometimes when she speaks. I don't think she's very substantive. I think JD Vance is gonna, well, now Donald Trump will, when he debates her, wipe the floor with her. It is going to be really telling who they put up. Now, if Democrats put up the governor of Pennsylvania, Josh Shapiro, or somebody like him, it could be a closer race, but I mean, I still believe just profoundly that Donald Trump is the man of the moment, and he's going to continue to get the wind at his back and win this thing handily.
Another question I have for you, and I know there's a few hands up, and you only have 4 minutes, so we'll go to the hands afterwards.
I got about
Another
2
question,
minutes left now.
2 minutes. So can you just tell us what's the process like? What people are too deep into politics? What happens next?
Technically, now that Joe Biden, the first step was that Joe Biden needed to step down. He will give, presumably, all of his, the folks that are representing him at the convention, all the electoral votes, the delegation votes that he has. And there are a couple of candidates, obviously. Gretchen Whitmer won't be on the ticket. You're not going to have 2 women on the ticket. She's out. I think that Gavin Newsom would be a terrible pick. But when you look at maybe the governor,
This is really frustrating.
I think Shapiro would be a really smart bet for them, but we'll see. Now it's going to be a race for VP to see who ends up in the mix.
Danish?
Congresswoman Mace, one question for you. Do you think
Last
that this was the
question,
plan
and I
all
apologize.
along? So, yeah, it's okay. Do you think that this was the plan all along because they know that Kamala Harris would not have won an open primary?
I don't know. You know, I'm not a big fan of conspiracy theories. It's hard to say if this was the plan all along. But I think we all sort of knew inherently that this Joe Biden just could not go on. And it's weird because what JD Vance said yesterday, the cynicism here for all the people on the left, all the Democrats that have been run for president. So how can he actually be president? And they can't answer for that. And so that's why this whole thing is going to be in disarray. It's even higher percentage now. If I were a betting man, that's where I put all of my money. So thank you guys. I apologize. I'm traveling today, and it's been crazy travel weekend, but appreciate your time today.
No, I appreciate
If
it,
you don't want to
Congresswoman.
support liars, Congresswoman, you can come join
Brian,
us.
just
All right, well, that's not working very well, so I think we'll cap things off. But very interesting. It's really interesting to me to see what impact this will have on crypto. Hold on. We are seeing a little bit of crash in the markets right now, which I thought was I wouldn't have seen that coming. So, but I can see why. Like I said, I think it's there might be some negative sentiment towards on the crypto market because I think a lot of people presumed Trump was going to beat Biden. If Biden stayed in the race, it was very likely a win for Republicans who have been coming out pro crypto. And like I said in the chat, I don't think there's any reason why Democrats have to be anti-crypto and only Republicans could be pro-crypto. I could definitely see a case to make for pro-crypto Democrats. You know, it's supposed to be of the people, right? So I could see that case, but it hasn't been the case. It's actually been the opposite. So yeah, it'll be really interesting to see. It's always nice to jump on those Mario and Nafal spaces, who AJ apparently works for part-time too, or does some organizing for him. So I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, Biden out. That's happened live on the streaming. You know, I really got to give a shout out to was it Grupo Trading? Yeah, Grupo Trading. Appreciate that. Big shout out to you for pointing that out while we were on the stream so we could cover it. I'm sort of fascinated. So it'll be interesting to see how this impacts the markets going forward because it was pretty rough on initially. I didn't think it would. I actually thought it would be priced in. We did see some drop. You know, it's always hard to know if that's related or not, but the timing is definitely auspicious. So pretty interesting. Yeah, like I said, if you haven't hit the like or subscribe button already, I'd love it if you guys did that. Like I said, you don't have to smash it. You can just press it gently. I appreciate everyone watching today. Hope you guys are all doing well out there. If you want to see videos come out before anyone else, you can, for $1 a month, you can get videos before anyone else. Our channel memberships are, you can find that on the channel page. And if people have been liking that, it's just kind of a nice way to help grow the channel. I think YouTube likes it when people subscribe. And I just want to make it affordable for people. So it's only $1 to get videos before anyone else. Usually, it's usually either the night before or at least a couple, 3 hours before anyone else. So anyway, with that, thanks everyone. Have a good night. I will be probably glued to that Twitter space following this news with Biden dropping out. Like I said, I had heard it was probably good. There was some rumors going around that it was going to happen this weekend. It looks like that did take place. So we'll see what happens, and we'll see how that impacts the crypto markets. But otherwise, stay safe out there. I'm Frugal BC, and I will see you in the future.